European Commission Vice President for Demography and Democracy. Ministro Álvarez, que se incorporará en directo
The minister will join us from Madrid, and at this moment, as you know, we members of the Council of Barcelona, we apologize, there's some sound problems. International Relations, Mr. Oriol Estela, who is the coordinator of the PEMB, the Barcelona Strategic Metropolitan Plan, and all of the citizens that have wanted to come to this very important event for the city and for the process of construction of the home of all, which is the European Union. Now, we apologize for the delay. We have just been given this recognition as a city by the Vice President, and I would like to recognize the work and the leadership of the Mayoress Colau in being able to achieve this. And I, as the new mayor of the city, I have received from the Vice President this recognition. And this recognition probably has something to do with the fact that democracy came into existence in cities. That is where it began in Europe, and cities are the place on our continent where we need to focus the debate and the defense of democracy and the improvement of democracy, and most of all, the exercising of democracy. In this very room where we're meeting, the Saló de Cent, and the Vice President, when she walked in, she was amazed. She said, wow. And now the wow will be even more significant when she knows that most likely this is one of the physical places in Catalonia and in all of the state where deliberative democracies began, because in the 14th century, the 100 most important people of the cities met from different guilds and to create a corporative decision-making process. So it was the embryo for a future democracy as we know it today. Today, Barcelona, as the European capital for democracy, would like to use this historic reference, to be an example and to be at the forefront of the struggle that all European cities have to carry out to defend democracy. Unfortunately, we are in the midst of convulsive times where populism, demagogy, and even those that falsify communication and written or spoken truth, we have to confront these with the traditions that we have of participative democracy, and it's important for the cities to raise our voice in favor of this democracy. And I can tell you that in November, in the city of Barcelona, within the framework of the Eurocities meeting, we will have a meeting of European mayors. Many have accepted already, precisely to situate the debate of the defense of democracy as one of the key points of the defense of the European model and our rights and our freedoms in a multipolar world where there are emerging countries and others that do not share this idea, and we will have to defend this, what we, the Europeans, believe the democratic system should be. Barcelona, I said, is a city from the Salón the Sin, the Saló de Sin, the Hall of the 100. Well, we have been a bastion of democracy. We fought against the Franco dictatorship. We were at the forefront. It's a city that began a process of decentralization within the city itself to bring the administration through its districts closer to the participation of the citizens. And later, in a third wave, it decentralized even more the decision-making process down to the 72 neighborhoods of the city of Barcelona, where there is a direct participation of our citizens, supporting the idea that democracy is not just voting every 4 years or a system of rights and responsibilities, but it's something that has to be exercised daily. And by exercising our democracy, we strengthen it. And thus, we need to have procedures that will favor this participation. And in the most recent wave of democratization, well, has been introducing participative processes for aspects related to budgets and to decisions made for the city. So we defend these rights and these freedoms through the city, and we want to pass these values on to our young people. I was asking the vice president, what is the difference between someone born in a non-democratic area and those that have grown up in democracy? And what is the perception that the young people have today that have already been born into consolidated democracies or democracies that from the 90s became true democracies? And what value do they give to democracy? Not to speak of, and I asked the vice president of how we can bring together demography and democracy and what the difference is today in Europe, and not only in Europe, of the perception of democracy and the use of democracy between the urban setting and the rural setting. These are two challenges that we have in our continent, and the city of Barcelona feels totally committed to this principle. And I believe that we have to be optimists because precisely the institutional system and the values that we share as Europeans, men and women, are a guarantee for democracy, not only in our countries and our cities, but we have to continue having a vocation of being an example to everyone. So let's begin the ceremony. Thank you very much, excellent Mayor. Welcome everyone to the Salón de Cint of Barcelona, and welcome also everyone that are following us in streaming by on the channel of the City Hall of the City Council. Now, this is the program then that will be going on from now until the 1st of October of next year as the first European capital for democracy too. We would like to tell you how this came to be and what events will be taking place in our city and all of the metropolitan area of Barcelona. I would like to give the floor to Mr. Helfried Kahr, founder of the European Capital of Democracy.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Mr. Mayor, for having us here. And I would like to first and foremost start with congratulations to you and the citizens of Barcelona on behalf of the European Capital of Democracy initiative, which I represent and which has organized this call. I have to tell you, it's a great day for this initiative because we started with this idea in 2019. There were some events in between, as we all might remember. And what we did was we organized a tough competition in which in the end 13 cities from 9 countries participated, and they were vying for the title of European Capital of Democracy. decided the decision of who will get the title, this was not my decision. It was not the vice president's decision. It was the decision of a jury of more than 2,500 citizens from all over Europe. So I would like to thank the citizens of Europe who have been part and parcel of this initiative. And I would like to also thank our supporters, first and foremost, the Vice President of the European Commission, Dubravka Šuica. It's a great sign of support that you have come here and that you have been a steadfast supporter of our initiative in the last couple of years. Let me also mention the Council of Europe and its Secretary General, Maria Pejinović-Burić, who has also supported us during those years. But let me explain. This is not just an award, because democracy is not about awards. Democracy is about practice and about discourse. And the European Capital of Democracy is going to be both. Our initiative is born out of a necessity. We know that democracy is proven to be the only form of government which needs self-criticism to thrive. And criticize we do a lot. And we know that the authoritarianism is growing worldwide at the same time and also in Europe. But sometimes we overdo it with our criticism. This is why I don't like the narrative on the demise of democracy, because I don't know any other form of government that would be better. This is the very reason why I founded the European Capital of Democracy initiative. We know democracy is slow. We know democracy can produce flawed outcomes. And democracy must always be renewed. But just because in our democracies, we must be very critical of what we do, we should not overlook one basic fact. In the end, it is democracy that delivers. It delivers for the people. This is why people do not migrate to dictatorships. And here in Barcelona, we will show the world that democracy, with all its flaws, delivers. This is what this program year is about. It will showcase best practice from all over Europe. It will address the central debates of our political presence and future. And together with the citizens, institutions, the civil society, and with business, we will co-create an engaging, diverse, and inclusive program for a European-wide audience. During the program year, Barcelona will serve as a central stage for the discourse on democracy in Europe. It will shine with the participatory practices the mayor has already mentioned that won the city this title. It will shine with our joint initiatives and activities in the field of democracy, and it will shine through the citizens of Barcelona and the citizens of Europe. There will be a lot on offer. The 7th edition of the annual Innovation in Politics Awards will be taking place here in Barcelona. The Innovation in Politics Awards are our flagship project, which showcases innovative political projects and politicians from all over Europe. Again, they are the ones proving that democracy delivers. We will also organize our annual Act Now Mayors Conference next September in Barcelona, bringing together mayors on the issue of climate crisis and biodiversity to this city. Again, Barcelona shows in this field that democracy delivers on this crucial issue. It shows that democracy and the fight against the climate crisis go together. In the spring, we will organize the art festival, Art of Democracy here. Art has a lot to contribute to the discourse on democracy, and we will show it together with the city. In September 24, the first Party Summit will take place in Barcelona. For people working around politics, for politics and in politics. We will convene organizations who assist the democratic political parties in Europe to improve the lives of citizens around the world. Because let's not forget, political parties are part of democracy as well. And last but not least, I have to tell you one of my favorite formats we bring here. We engage with the gaming community of Barcelona and of Europe with our program called Truth, Lies and Democracy. Lujan will tell you later about this innovative format. But we will also invite other third partners to come under the umbrella of the European Capital of Democracy. Third partners who organize their democratic activities here during the program year. One example is the International Youth Think Tank, who will hold its annual youth conference in November here in Barcelona. Another one is the European Association for Local Democracy, holding its General Assembly in this wonderful city. And I'm grateful to our partners from Reimagine Europa, who will present their projects and their activities here today as well. We are still being contacted every day by other democracy activities and organizations from all over Europe about how to be part of this adventure. Thus, we will celebrate democracy as it should be celebrated in many different ways and forms. Because in democracy, there is not one way to find the right answer or even the right question. There are many ways. I do believe in democracy. I do believe that democracy is as vibrant as we make it. In our democracies, it's not necessary to be courageous. Here in Spain and in most member states of the European Union, when we act democratically, when we use our rights and freedoms, and when we speak our minds, we don't even have to be courageous if we ask for more democracy. Thus, I believe it's our duty to do so. Together with the cities who applied for this title, we have created the European Capital of Democracy City Network. All of them have best practices and examples of citizen participation. Again, democracy delivers. I would also like to tell you that 3 weeks ago, I visited Mayor Klitschko in Kiev. We signed a memorandum of understanding because Kiev will be partner of the European Capital of Democracy City Network. We are in solidarity with those who are defending democracy at the same time as defending their country. Or as Mayor Klitschko put it to me, no fight, no win. As I said before, we want the European Capital of Democracy to shine, to be a beacon of the discourse on democracy in Europe. And shine we will. But how bright and how far this beacon will shine will depend on our common effort. Be active, be part of this endeavor so that your daily practice becomes a democratic beacon for Europe. We know that democracy is about citizen engagement and democracy is about institutions. And I'm very glad that we have civil society and the city and other local institutional partners like the Generalitat de Catalunya on board. All of them are welcome and you can find on our website how you can be part of this endeavor. We are also engaging with the business community to get democracy on the offensive again. In my view, it is crucial to enter this broad alliance. Dear friends, we are all flooded with bad news these days, and it can seem to be overwhelming. But less than 300 days to the European Parliament elections, I would like to state that there is also good news. Barcelona, the first ever European Capital of Democracy, will be a beacon of hope with our initiative. Or again, as the mayor of Kiev, the former heavyweight champion Vitaly Klitschko would put it, no fight, no win. Thank you.
Thank you. Tenim avui també amb nosaltres a la vicepresidenta de
Thank you very much. We also have with us Madam Dubravka Šuica, who is the Vice President of the European Commission, and she works hard for the links to be strengthened between the citizens and what Europe is doing. Please welcome to Barcelona, Madam Šuica, and please, if the floor is yours.
Dear Mayor, dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm more than honored to be here in this building today because, as Mayor already said, I was really amazed when I entered this building, and you can see immediately roots, culture, tradition, arts. So thank you very much for inviting me here. I'm here today on behalf of European Commission, and I want to congratulate City of Barcelona, citizens of Barcelona, and of course, Mayor and City Councillors for this prestigious award, because this is first one, as my predecessors already said. And it is very important to nourish our democracy. And I'm really proud that I can, and honored that I can be here today on this first occasion of this award for Capital of Democracy. I wanted, as a former mayor myself, I used to be mayor of Dubrovnik for 2 terms, so I can understand what it may mean for you and for your citizens. But there is a slogan, once a mayor, always a mayor, so this is my case. So all of us know that all politics is local in the end. Many thanks. And you were chosen, as you already said, by thousands of citizens from different European regions and different European countries. So the people have spoken and they said Barcelona. It's about that. It's not about a jury or something, but people, citizens. That is what makes this event more beautiful and meaningful. To succeed as the European capital of democracy, you gave citizens a voice, and this is very important. And they chose you. So this is interaction. So Barcelona is an excellent example of a city that supports innovation of all kinds, including also in the digital sphere. Citizens' engagement and participation in democracy is a multi-level process. And as all of us know, as you said, from the 14th century, citizens' participation was born at the local level. And this, we have to keep this always in mind. At European level, we are inspired by the deliberative formats like citizens' panels that were first tested at the local level. Take, for example, the Decidim platform. It is one of many projects that has made Barcelona a leading city in democratic innovation. Decidim was the basis that we adopted for the online multilingual digital platform during the Conference on the Future of Europe. And it was the hub of the conference. You know that Conference on the Future of Europe happened during the COVID time, so we had to use digitals, and multilingual digital platform was very important. And the seed, the base of it was Decidim from Barcelona. So the protection of our democracy featured prominently in the discussions during the Conference of the Future of Europe, and the European Commission moved fast to respond to its proposals, because citizens asked us during the conference, are you going to follow up? What are you going to do with these proposals? So for the first time ever, Commission's work program for this year, 2023, was based largely on the proposals coming from the conference itself. Be it on mental health, be it on food waste, be it on digital world, be it on mobility and education, because citizens were not interested in institutional things. They were more interested in daily issues, and this is what we adopted, and we brought legislation on this. Yesterday, I was present during in a hemicycle in European Parliament in Strasbourg, where our president of the Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, announced a new generation of citizens panels last year and this year, and we showed that democracy delivers. The European Commission already adopted the proposals on food waste and virtual worlds, and we are just in the process of adopting mobility in education. Democracy featured first in the very first sentence of the State of the Union speech yesterday. The President outlined the achievements of the past 4 years. And these years were filled with unprecedented challenges. All of us have. In 2019, when we started this commission, nobody could predict COVID. Nobody could predict war in Ukraine. Nobody could predict gas shortages and inflation. So there were really unprecedented challenges, but at the same time, we stick in parallel to our 6 priorities. And our twin priorities, as you know, are green and digital. And this is what we are doing regardless of all this, what's going on. So energy crisis, war on our soil at European borders, the digital and green transition. And we held together and showed that democracy can truly deliver. As you said, 300 days left before in the current mandate before European elections. Our Commission is determined to finish the job. So we must address our boiling planet, we call it boiling planet nowadays, and deliver the Green Deal. We must take care of our farmers, we must take care of our businesses, and we must take care of our youth, as you rightly mentioned. The President emphasized that while treaty change may be needed, a union fit for enlargement can be achieved faster. There are existing tools within existing treaty like passerelle clauses. She also said that we must respond to the deep-rooted shifts in technology, society, and demography. I have been working closely with Spanish presidency on delivering a demography toolbox for member states. The world population reached 8 billion people last November. We share common experience of recovering from COVID pandemic. Many of us are touched by the illegal war of aggression in Ukraine, or all of us, I will say. We face the challenges of the digital and green transitions. And our leaders are dealing with demographic change in all its forms: aging, falling birth rates, brain drain, and depopulation, especially from rural areas. And there is a big disparity between rural areas and urban areas, also here in Spain. It is vital that we show that democracy delivers on the ground for citizens and keep our democratic institutions strong and be able to respond. You know that I'm Croatian and I was not born in democracy. I never thought, and I didn't think, that 30 years after Croatia joined the European Union, and 10 years after we joined the European Union, but 30 years after we got our independence, that I would be involved in having to defend our democracy. This wasn't imagined. We thought it's democracy, that's fine. But we have to defend our democracy. We cannot take our democracy for granted. We have to fight harder than ever before to defend our democracy. And I never believed that I would be saying this in 2023. For democracy to be strong, it needs to be resilient at all levels of governance. We must close all the gaps and block authoritarianism and false promises of populism from creeping in and weakening our democracy. That is why we are working in Commission on a defense of democracy package. We must defend European democracy from foreign interference, as all of you know, that there is a lot of foreign interference. Looking at the actions by the Kremlin and other third countries actors, we should not be naive. So I really feel great when you said that you met the mayor of Kiev, and I was in Kiev also 3 months ago, trying to help them with some issues on children and demography and so on. So it is time to bring covert foreign influence and shady funding to light. What I'm saying, it's about third countries who are trying to influence, especially civil society, and funding them. It's not about monitoring civil society. You are our best partners, but it's about monitoring what's going on with this financing, because some political parties are being financed by third countries and also some organizations of civil society. So one of the main elements of the Defense of Democracy package is a directive on transparency of interest representation activities carried out on behalf of third countries. The aim is to better protect freedom of expression in the European Union, to build democratic resilience also from within. We must equip citizens as they engage in democracy. And this is the reason why we start teaching citizens from kindergarten to be responsible citizens when they are grown up. It's not an easy task, it's a long-term task, but this package supports also this by providing citizens with the information they need to be aware when there is a third country behind ideas being presented. This commission wants to find the right balance for this new tool. So we are reinforcing analysis, underlining the proposal and carrying out full impact assessment. This important legislation, it is very important, and we are making sure it will be balanced, meaningful, and effective. So in the fight for our democratic values, our best allies are our citizens. Therefore, this package will contain measures on encouraging engagement with civil society organizations and citizens. And with the European elections coming up, it will also contain measures on secure and resilient elections. And of course, the robust observation and reporting on electoral process. This is very important. We hope to address the local level directly in this package through our pilot project on building Europe with local councillors. Cities like Barcelona are a hive of innovation. I see the intense daily efforts of mayors and local councillors who are dealing firsthand with what we call bread and butter issues, daily issues for citizens. Municipalities and cities create networks making tangible difference to citizens' everyday lives. I'm convinced of the importance of reinforcing democracy at the local level to build a resilient and inclusive democracy. It's time to join forces, fight back, win and fight and win, and connect the democratic innovators and change makers of our time. Looking to the future, over the next year, Barcelona will work on many activities, as you mentioned, and Mayor also mentioned, events to strengthen European democracy. I know that you are organizing your busy year together with civil society. You rightly understand that it takes partners to build and defend our democracy. There is no one person, institution, or organization at any level that is capable to successfully defend democracy by themselves. So we have to pull together at all levels with all willing partners to defend our democracy. The European Capital of Democracy will create a vibrant stage for innovation in democracy and best practice in action. This helps to increase trust in our democracy and democratic institutions, which is designed to serve citizens in the end. This is part of building a democracy, which we call it building democracy fit for the future. This means that we have to adapt our democracy for our future needs, taking into account development of technology, social media, artificial intelligence, and all of this. But as you said, there is nothing better than democracy. There is no invention, so we have to cherish it. We have to nourish it. So just to finish, once again, congratulations to the citizens of Barcelona, to civil organizations, to mayor, to councillors, because this is a big achievement and being first means something. So I think that a lot of them will be inspired, will find inspiration in this, and they will follow your example. Thank you once again, and all the best.
Thank you, moltes gràcies. I ara us convido a veure un vídeo que recull l'esperit del que vol ser i el que vol fer Barcelona i la regió com a capital europea de la democràcia.
We will now watch a video which will tell us how Barcelona wants to be the European capital of democracy. Empowerment, future, democracy. From September 2023, workshops, talks, conferences, forums, expositions, the We Decide Festival, Truth, Lies, and Democracy game. It's going very quickly. I apologize. Cannot read them.
Dèiem, la capital, com dèiem en començar...
We were saying when we began that this is going to last 1 year, and it's a call to all of our citizens to participate in this festival of democracy. And we will now hear from Miss Eugenia Ngai, who is the assistant, the vice mayor.
Dear Helfred, regidor, regidora, queridos cònsules, amics, amigues, benvinguts tots, molt bona tarda.
Good afternoon to everyone. For me, it is a pleasure and an honor to be here at our city hall to talk about the activities that are going to take place in Barcelona as the European capital of democracy. These are things that are going to strengthen our democracy and human rights. As those that have spoken before me have highlighted, democracy is one of the main pillars for our society at the European Union, and it is a value that defines all of the European citizens. And in this time of challenges, it's so important to defend those values that the fathers of the European Union had in mind: freedom, fraternity, solidarity, something that we have to have in mind in these difficult times. The fact that Barcelona is the first European capital for democracy is important, but we have gone through a very exhaustive process of selection with a jury of more than 2,500 citizens from all over Europe that chose Barcelona as the winner. And we are proud and very grateful for that choice. The European Capital for Democracy lasts for 1 year. It will go until October of 2024. And it has a program of more than 40 proposals in many formats, workshops, participative actions, forums, presentations, and it includes the participation. And the technicians from the city of Barcelona, from our city hall, well, we are very grateful to all the work that they have done to prepare this program. This came from the Institute for Public Innovation and Democracy, and from the city council that have created a structure to develop the activities of the program. From the City Council of Barcelona, together with these institutions, we have created a basis for cooperation together with many institutions and organizations, both at the metropolitan Barcelona level as well as internationally. We would like to thank everyone for their participation and involvement. Among these, we are grateful for the participation of institutions such as the Generalitat of Catalonia, the County Council of Barcelona, the CCCB, and the Manifesta Bienal. For Barcelona, being the capital helps us to take advantage of the opportunity to make Barcelona the site of the work to preserve a democracy for the future, as we have heard from both the mayor and the vice president of the European Commission. Together, we will work to make this capital naming as something that can be worthwhile for everyone. There will be international networks that will give us points of collaboration with other cities so that we can have a greater weight in Europe in the area of democratic innovation. The yearly program will have more than 40 proposals that will take place in this period and that have been grouped in different types. We will have international events, city events, parallel events, and also we can find other proposals and initiatives that have to do with democracy, such as actions and processes of participation, call for projects, and meetings of international networks. As for the themes, there will be different facets that will have to do with democracy, such as technology, culture, education, video games, climate challenge, and fundamental rights. I would like to highlight that there will be an international conference on democracy, technology, and artificial intelligence that will take place from the 18th to the 20th of October of 2023. Also, the ceremony of awards of the annual Innovation in Politics Awards, where we will present the most innovative examples of citizen participation. That will be in April of 2024, and the Art of Democracy, an exhibition of participative art that will take place highlighting the work of artists from the city. A game jam of 48 hours of the creation of video games and knowing how to fight against fake news. Truth and Lies and Democracy. It will be in the first week of June of 2024, and an international meeting of mayors concerning policy climates that will take place in Barcelona in September of 2024. And I think it's also important for us to highlight as events in the city an inaugural conference on the challenges of democracy in Europe. Danielle Hennerty we are organizing for December of 23. We will have some workshops together with the County Council on the 12th and 13th of March at the university, and a festival on democracy and city, and the closing ceremony that will take place in Barcelona at the beginning of October of 2024. Finally, it's important to highlight that the program will bring many local and metropolitan and international events organized by different institutions and organizations of civil society, such as the Future of Citizen Dialogue, the International Youth Conference 2023 from the International Think Tank, and the Festival and General Assembly organized by the European Association for Local Democracy. Furthermore, during this year, we will also have a series of initiatives that are very interesting that I encourage you to participate in: a debate process with children in schools, with debates about how children and adolescents want to participate in this city. This process will be organized together with the infancy roundtable, and we will have representatives from the metropolitan area that will design a joint proposal for the Bienal 2024. This will be together with the Manifesta Bienal, and also an open call for proposals for activities and a call for specific activities with the same end to be done online in diverse formats. They will also have 5 European meetings online, Eco Democracy, where we will hear about experiences and continue to work to extend this initiative at the European level. As you can see, this program will include many activities, but we are still evaluating many others. We would like to make a call so that the civil society will feel a part of these activities and involved. Without a doubt, democracy is what will allow us to express our opinions and those of our representatives, but also to protect against authoritarianism. Only if we are capable of placing the life and the dignity of human beings as the thing to be protected before anything other, any social, political, technological development. So we have to make sure that all of us together can work to help to take humanity forward. Thank you very much. Thank you, Assistant Mayor, and now we will give the floor to Luján Oltun, who's Commissioner of the JAM Video Games, Truth, Lies, and Democracy. Well, thank you very much. It is up to me to talk about some of the activities that we're going to have. I'm going to pick up where they said before. well, especially what was said by the Vice President, because Truth, Lies and Democracies wants to get back to the roots and to connect with civil society and show the importance of giving visibility to new voices, the voices of young people, and the need to adapt to the new democratic processes, the cultural and social processes. In this sense, there are two key protagonists in Truth, Lies and Democracy that are video games and fake news. What do these two have in common? Well, fake news, all of us know what it is. It is misinformation with bad intentions that slowly eats away at the confidence that people have in democracy, in their political structures. And it's not easy to fight against this. We have to fight these and stop these, but it is a very difficult task. We have many journalists here, and we know that being able to verify sources is difficult and not something that they are happy to do. We have, on the other hand, the gamers, different from the concept that we have of gamers in the past, the isolated nerd from the past, from movies. Today, we're almost all gamers. 40% of the population of the world, 18 million Spaniards are gamers, 40% of the population, and 50% of the population between 8 and 64 years of age consider themselves gamers, because it is a definition, well, it is a term whose definition is expanding. We may have a console or a computer in our home, and if we're parents, we are reconnecting right now. Truth, Lies and Democracy is looking for something very fundamental from these gamers, for them to create communities. They are people that want to create and to do. So we create a pilot program that is going to work on three main points of games. I could talk hours about this, about video games, but there are three things we want to highlight. Video games as system, they go hand in hand with the political process. They have a reach that is massive, 18 million in Spain, and that is a great way and an entertaining way to get the attention of this population, of this demographic that we perhaps weren't reaching in the past, to discuss things like fake news. And there is a characteristic that we can adapt to the formats that are necessary by the players themselves. There are many ways today. Well, there are many possibilities now for all of us to develop games, and that's why we have created a pilot program that will be 3 days of a game jam at the Canódromo, where we will have people working in collaboration in prototyping proposals that are entertainment, video entertainment, that would take on the idea of fake news. We will work with a group of Spanish teams and with also foreign teams that will come from different spaces in the European Union, and that they will all work together for 3 days with guides and tutors that come from the world of communication and politics and technology and video game development, to look at alternative ways of working around fake news. This game jam, we will hopefully, it will be online, it will be broadcast online, and people will have access to this mentoring from the tutors, and they will be able to play the games. And it's not going to be just turning on and off. We will continue to accompany them and promote this, working with local and European partners at other events, with agreements that we have with partners such as Game Barcelona, Arts Game. We are working and developing all of this. So there's a long experience that we have working together as a community to think of these new formats in which we can reach new communities. Thank you.
Gràcies. Ara dono la paraula a l'Èrica.
I give the floor now to Erika Steil van Holsten, who's the representative of Reimagine Europe.
Hello, everyone.
Hola.
From my name, I will unfortunately not be speaking in Spanish. do you ever feel like Don Quixote, tilting at windmills, wasting a lot of time fighting imaginary enemies? I think if anyone has been on Twitter, you know what I'm talking about. The distinguished speaker before me have all talked about the challenges that democracies face. And the truth is that the past decades, I forgot the clicker, of course. Is it working? No. Okay, I'll do it without the slides. These past decades, so actually since the financial crisis, we've been stuck in a cycle of distrust. We have very real problems, like the cost of living crisis, job insecurity, pandemics, wars, and these are triggering very negative emotions that leads to societal and political unrest. Amplified by social media, this is leading to polarization and societal fragmentation across Europe, and de facto creating political stalemate. And this is the paradox of our time, because as the Vice President said before, we need to adapt to this new world that's changing so fast and so quickly. Yet the political situation, the fact that we are divided, is blocking any movement forward. And this is just exacerbating this cycle of distrust. And we're like hamsters running in this wheel, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. So how do we adapt? How do we move beyond fighting these imaginary enemies, wasting time fighting each other? How do we move towards actually dealing with the very real problems that our society is facing? And it's not because our systems were designed to be flawed. It's just that they were designed for a very different world. They were not designed for this highly mobile, global, digital world we live in, and now we have AI coming in. You know, they were designed for a different world, but the world has changed, and so now we need to adapt. And we need to do this together. And this is why we're so happy that here for the first edition of the European Capital of Democracy, we can come in and launch our first edition of the Citizens for Future dialogue that Reimagine Europa is organizing together with our partners, the European League of Economic Cooperation and the Fundación La Caixa, to stop tilting at windmills. Held on the 19th of October this year at La Caixa Forum at Palau Macaya. We'll be bringing together 50 citizens to reimagine the future. So this is organized with a number of different European organizations, including the European Parliament Former Members Association, the Barcelona City Hall, and the Young European Federalists, to mention a few. And the event has been designed using Reimagine Europa's innovative narrative methodology. And this is based on insights from psychology, behavioral science, from philosophy, neuroscience. And the starting point is that narratives, it's the one thing that unites us. They tell us what is right and wrong. It's how we see the world. This is just how the brain works. Trust me, I've talked to a lot of neuroscientists about this. But they do decide immediately what we think is good and bad. Who are our friends? Who are our foes? And they help us to build narratives for the future, beliefs, and they make us move millions of people completely uncoordinated to achieve amazing things. But narratives can also divide us. And that's what we see here today. Well, not in this room, I hope, but in the world. We see coalition governments across Europe, minority governments. We see a divided future. And this is definitely scary. But the good thing, I don't want to leave you all here depressed that we have no future. The good thing that if we look beyond the narratives, beyond the words that we're using, our dreams, our objectives, our fears are very much the same. Even if we think that we are in different political areas, even if we think that the person in front of me, I can't talk to them. Actually, if you actually scratch the surface, we have exactly the same concerns because we are living on the same earth. But this is nothing new. I mean, these are technology and techniques that Nelson Mandela used to create a conversation in South Africa and move beyond his imaginary windmills and move forward. Obviously, as Europeans, we strongly believe that diversity is a strength and that the more difference of opinions and different experiences, this will lead to better results. And in this very special moment where we really need new ideas. We need a new vision, a shared vision to move forward, to adapt to this scary new world that we are inhabiting. We hope that this activity, our event that will be held on the 19th of October, will let us stop tilting at windmills. So let's change the narrative and change the world together. So we're very happy to be here at the European Capital of Democracy, and thank you all for hosting us.
Doncs ha arribat el moment d'acomiadar-nos i ho farà
Well,
així.
it's time for closing, and we will now give the floor to the excellent José Manuel Álvarez, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Spanish government. Good morning. Good morning, Minister. You have the floor. Thank you very much. Good morning to everyone. Dear Mayor Collboni, dear Vice President Suica, authorities, I would have very much liked to have been in Barcelona with you today, celebrating that the European citizenship can see here some of the best practices of democracy and of of citizens' participation during 2023-2024. This is, well, Barcelona is now the European capital for democracy within the Spanish presidency of the European Union. Barcelona is a city on the forefront, an image of the best of Spain, a European and cosmopolitan city. It's always been that way at the level of tourism, foreign residents, of investments, and it also is because it has extraordinary entities like the UNESCO Center for Catalonia, the ONU Habitat, or the UNICEF Centro IVA. And it is also as a home for international meetings here in Barcelona. The first meeting of the Med9 meeting as a forum between the Mediterranean states. I will be back in November to your city to attend the 7th Forum for the Mediterranean and the European ministers meeting that is especially relevant because of the Spanish presidency of the Council of the European Union. And during our semester as presidents, well, the Spanish presidency will be a window for through Barcelona. We will see a project. There are more than 300 activities in all of Spain. Barcelona, the city of Barcelona, will have some of the most important events that will take place in the Spanish presidency. And the Forum Union for the Mediterranean, well, between today and tomorrow, we have the Forum of Universities for the Future of Europe, and on the 21st and 22nd of this month, we will have all of the European ministers of transport. The eyes of Europe will be focused those 2 days on the city of Barcelona, and their decisions, vital decisions, will be made for this sector in Europe. Between the fall of this year and the fall of 2024, Barcelona will be a sounding board for the new model of participative democracy and inclusive democracy. This is a debate that cannot be delayed any longer because this is part of the important transitions of our time, together with the green transition, the digital or the demographic transitions. The public policies of our time must bring together the sensitivity and the experience and the knowledge of all of our citizenship. The digital platforms, far from being a threat, are a great opportunity to strengthen the citizens' presence in the public debate. By bringing our citizens closer to the decision-making centers that affect their daily lives, we work with the global we handle the global working from the local. And Barcelona has done this through their Decidim platform, and they will continue to do so in many different actions that will take place in the metropolitan area. We are very happy at the government of Spain for this, and we also promote this in the European institutions. The Vice President Suica and myself inaugurated the Civil Society Forum and the conference, high-level conference on aging in Lugo last Thursday. Today in Barcelona, we find ourselves again, we meet again. In all of these occasions, the mandate was clear. Response and answer to the problems of our time should be solutions that are European, that are thought of for our citizens. This has also been the spirit of the conference concerning the future of Europe in an never before seen exercise at the European level. The Council of Europe came up with more than 300 measures, many of which were included in the working program of the Commission and in the program of the Spanish Presidency of the Council. The Spanish society is a motor for Europeanism in the world. We have to make sure that the success of our common goals will be closer to the people, to our citizens, a Europe that continues to create a project of well-being and safety for everyone without leaving anyone behind. This is a cross-cutting principle that underlies everything that we do in our presidency of the Council, because the European Union is waiting for us. It's waiting for a Spain that will take on with ambition and decision the great challenges of our time, and that pushes forward economic growth, because that's the only way in which we can win the future for all of the European men and women. We have the strength of a society that is pro-Europe, like Spain, and a country and a city that is pro-Europe and that is global. In this attempt to improve the quality of democracy in our cities, and I'm sure that the citizens of Barcelona and their city hall, I want to assure them that the Spanish government will be there to help them and to accompany them on this path. Thank you very much. Thank you, Minister. Thanks to everyone. Before leaving, we would like to have a photograph of all of our guests here, and you are all invited to all of the activities for this year as the European Capital for Democracy. Have a good day.